name is Professor Olunga. I'm a professor in anthropology at the University of Nairobi and a gender researcher. So definitely I'm comfortable in the gender arena. Yeah, first and foremost, I think the Kenyan government has really tried. Let's start from the implementation of Article 59 of the Constitution. I remember being part and parcel of the progress in 2011, particularly when we were talking about having commissions to implement Article 59. Ultimately, we ended up with three different commissions, and that was the Administrative Justice, we had the National Gender and Equality Commission, and the Commission on Human Rights. Fortunately enough, a lot of gender issues were domiciled at National Gender and Equality Commission, which I think did a lot of work on the rights and the plight and empowerment of women, the old people, children, the minority, the disabled, the marginalized. And for some reason, I think policies do exist to be able to ensure that these marginalized sections of our communities are taken on board. One of the biggest problems is what has been discussed here, the issue of implementation and budgeting. I think most of the times, in the absence of budgets, it's very difficult to realize what you intend to. The way forward. A lot of times we blame patriarchy. I tell people that in every man's life, there are 4 women. And who are these women? You have your mother, whom you love most. You have mostly your daughter, who you think is a fantastic person and must succeed. Then you have your sister, who you think is your bloodline. And then you have your daughter, who you want to succeed, your wife. Now, the biggest problem is that a lot of times, problems on gender emancipation and empowerment is between the man and the wife. And remember, this is again the person you love. This is the person you share a lot. And how comes then you don't want your woman to be successful, to be a role model to the daughter, and yet you want your daughter to succeed? So it's a contradiction. So I think, as one member of the panel say, that it starts with us. It's very fundamental that gender empowerment must start from the basics. And the basics is the individual. The basics the household. The basics the family. Before it radiates off to the community is when the nation can catch the cold. So that's in my view, it's important that each and every individual become gender sensitive. We need male champions, we need male collaborators, we need individuals who understand the dynamics of gender, and we need to move away from a zero-sum game. We need to see gender as a win-win situation for everybody. Once that is okay, I think we'll be able to move forward. I think a lot of times, again, we need political will. Political will is critical. You realize that all of Africa right now, Rwanda is being touted as the best example of engendered country. I think the political will at the top, we need to walk the talk and talk the walk. A lot of times we spend too much time saying things that we don't do instead of doing things that we say. So I think it's important that the political class at whatever level, whether it's at the presidency, the cabinet level, whether the PSS, whether at institutions of higher learning, institutions of middle-level colleges, high schools, primaries, we need a situation where engendering the process becomes critical and understanding that men and women have different needs, aspirations, and the call for action becomes critical. So, I mean, take for instance a very simple thing. If you provide free education, any free education that does not put in place a need to provide sanitary towels, it's not free for the girl. Because during menstruation, you cannot attend school. So the need for that girl must be considered on the basis of her biological needs, sociocultural needs, and other needs that may not be seen by a naked eye. So when we go forward, I think it's necessary that we use information, we use data, we use what happens in different jurisdictions, and be able to do what would be right for this country and for the country's progress. I think that's where I stand. You're welcome.